Interesting quote coming out of Christian Horner and the Red Bull Racing Organisation. McLaren's F1 dominance is inviting increased scrutiny, says Christian Horner. Now, Horner has come up with some interesting quotes after the Miami Grand Prix. I think he accused McLaren of having tyre water, having water inside of their tyres, and that's how they are able to keep them so cool and so in the window. And obviously, as these stints go on, to actually keep the performance in those tyres for much longer. As we saw in Miami, in the early stages of the race, it wasn't that much of a difference between the performance of Max Verstappen's Red Bull and the McLarens of Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. But as the race continued, the pace of those McLarens, they just absolutely stretched their leg. They could clearly go much harder for much longer on those tyres than anybody else in that race, and that's why they won the race by 30 seconds in the end. The most dominant victory we've seen in Formula One for many, many years. But are McLaren cheating? Are they hiding something up their sleeve? Well, I think they're certainly hiding something up their sleeve. They've obviously figured out a way to switch on these tyres and not have the same kind of thermal degradation as what other teams are doing. How they've done that is a mystery, and how they've done that might well be legal. It probably is, but we'll have to see what happens with it, because Christian Horner and the Red Bull team are basically trying to catch McLaren out. They've apparently tried to use thermal imaging cameras, and they seem to have, in their own words, proof of this illegal cooling in the brakes, but they haven't done anything with it because it's very circumstantial, to say the least, and we haven't actually seen the thermal images, so it's all hearsay at this point. But let's have a look at what Horner said here, because I think it's interesting what he's saying here, and some people might interpret it as a bit of a thinly veiled threat. Of course, Red Bull did protest Mercedes with their alleged not slowing down of George Russell under yellow flag, so they're not afraid to very much put a protest in, but they haven't done it yet. So let's see what's been said here, guys. Full article on the F1Chronicle.com as always. As McLaren continues to dominate the Formula One season, winning 5 out of the first 6 races, Red Bull team principal Christian Horner believes the championship leaders will face heightened scrutiny and questions about their cars due to the unrivaled performance. In the Miami Grand Prix on Sunday, McLaren secured a commanding 1-2 finish, with Oscar Piastri leading teammate Lando Norris, while George Russell's Mercedes, which finished third, was more than 30 seconds behind the leading pair. Following the race, discussions arose regarding tyre temperatures and how McLaren managed to keep them under control better than their competitors. Last year, unsubstantiated suspicion circulated that McLaren might be using water to cool down their rear tyres, although no formal protest was lodged. In response, McLaren team boss Zak Brown playfully sipped from a drinking bottle labelled tyre water and emphasised that anybody suspecting the team of wrongdoing should file an official protest. Fair enough. Put your money where your mouth is. Actually do a protest rather than just complaining about it. They obviously don't have any real proof, otherwise they would be complaining about it. Horner, whose driver Max Verstappen started on pole but finished 4th, clarified, "I'm not suggesting there's anything illegal on the car. Well done to McLaren. They were in a league of their own." I feel a butt coming here. McLaren did exactly the same about the front suspension on our car last year, so it's inevitable when you're running at the front, as we have done for the last few years, you always come under more scrutiny. With McLaren already holding a substantial 105-point lead over second place Mercedes, they're not being catched. No chance. Toto Wolff, the Mercedes team boss, acknowledged McLaren's superiority, stating, "We're just not as good with the tyres over an extended run, and McLaren shows how it's being done. They are definitely doing an excellent job by being able to go fast around the corners without overheating them. So this is what we need to look up to and engineer our way out." Wolff expressed his confidence in the integrity of McLaren's leadership, saying, "I have no doubt that these guys have stayed within the rules. It's just really good development. They've understood how to manage the tyre much better than anybody else, and in my opinion, it's totally legit." He traced McLaren's resurgence back to an update introduced in Austria 2 years ago, which exceeded expectations and set the foundations for their current success. Wolff stressed that Mercedes is fully committed to identifying the key areas for development and performance gain, stating, "And we are on it, completely on it. So it's not like we're going to look at it like Bambi in front of the headlights. We are on it. We are in there. We are trying to find out. We are experimenting. And we are going to definitely be able to challenge." Fighting talk from Mr. Wolff. But will the results back it up? Well, we'll have to see. I mean, yeah, I think this is a case of McLaren doing something totally within the rules, something very clever, just like Red Bull last season with allegedly their asymmetric brakes, which of course they had, and they had a big performance downturn after that was gone. People were talking about McLaren and their mini DRS. It seems as though that doesn't seem to be the big thing. It seems to be around certain tracks in certain conditions where their car is just so good at maintaining the performance of those tyres for far longer than what the other guys can. The rest of the pack can keep up with them for 10, 15 laps, maybe, but 20, 25 laps in. The McLarens are absolutely electric. They do not have the same kind of degradation as what the other teams have. It's incredible. And I think it's probably totally within the rules as well. But the question then becomes is when they find it out, when they find out what has been doing this, will they do something similar to what they did with Red Bull? Will they close that loophole in the regulations, if indeed it is a loophole that they have exploited? We'll have to wait and see, but it would not be totally out of the realms of possibility for Formula One. I think a lot of teams were hoping that at the Spanish Grand Prix, which is coming up, I think it's after Imola, isn't it? It's pretty soon. When we get to the Spanish Grand Prix, that when the Mini DRS, the flexi rings regulations are going to be tightened, that was really going to hurt McLaren. But it seems as though McLaren in that time have found another thing to exploit. So it might well hurt McLaren more than the other teams. But overall, that is not going to be the silver bullet. That is not going to be what stops McLaren. They need to find a way to stop them with their tyres or find a way to copy it. And they need to find it fast because, yeah, Miami could become the norm rather than the exception to the rule. But your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Have McLaren found something dodgy in their car? Have they found a regulation that they can exploit? And have they found a loophole? Is it legal? Should it be banned? What do you think they've done? All these questions and above. And what does tyre water actually taste like? I bet it tastes rank, to be honest. But anyway, moving on. So yeah, hope you have a great day wherever you are in the world, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to see more like this. And yeah, I'm going to go outside because it's absolutely glorious out there. As you can tell by all the sunshine coming in my office right now, it's got to that point in the day. So yeah, see you soon. Have a great day wherever you are.